Good evening, good evening, good evening. Where's the camera? Good evening, everyone. How you doing? How you doing? And welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Sunday evening. I'm the Diva D from Carved Out Divas.
April Call with April's Beauty Bar, and we are diversity
And equity
in education. How
in
y'all doing?
education. We are. What week are we in? April. What week we in now? On this coronavirus.
This is our week 4. We're entering
week four?
week 4 of not being in the classroom. Week 4.
Okay, week 4. And
I
I'm
feel
telling
like
you,
I've been in this house for 6 months.
me too. Me too. And
I'm about to lose it any moment now. I was holding it together, but I'm about to lose it any moment now.
I'm telling you, and that leads us to some interesting conversations and topics we have discussed today, because we're starting to see. Well, my big question, first of all, was how are people dealing with mental health issues during this time? Because
they're
not, right? Because people can't really leave the house and go somewhere. So we're seeing some incidents that are popping up in the news of just random things happening. Now, one thing I saw, and I'm assuming that the video, couldn't stay up that long. There was 1 or 2 incidents of people actually walking around naked in New York City. And the guy who was actually commenting on the video, he was even saying, he said, yeah, they got the hospital band on the wrist. He says it's the second or third time. He actually listed the street that it was on, like Fulton Street or something like that, some street. And he was like, this is happening a lot. And so we don't know if it's a side effect. We don't know if it's just people just losing their mind. They can't stay inside. They can't hold them down, whatever it is. But there's also was an incident. I think it was a murder-suicide that occurred in Spring Hill. I think it was just this past week. And we're seeing that just people are just acting like, whoa, it is a hard time. This is a very, very hard time for people. I'm in the house with myself, and I must have walked around this house about 15, 20 times.
I'm just eating. That's all I can do is just eat.
That's the thing. I see stuff in the house that I know I don't need to mess with. Like, okay, maybe I should just adjust the wiring and that. Like, no, I'm not an electrician, but I'm trying to touch stuff that don't be here electrocute. I'm reading books like, okay, I think I can fix this. You know how you find them fix it yourself, do it yourself, fix it books. I'm in a book like this. I wonder if I can fix that.
Don't do it. They can't let you in the hospital. You get messed up. Don't do it.
I'm saying to myself, look, what can I do? I'm doing some YouTube research on how to thread your own eyebrows. I'm like, man, I'm about to take my eye out. What is wrong with me?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Susan.
So, yeah, this where we have parents, teachers, everybody. Just chime in and let us know how your week is.
We have to invite people because we are over the. Hold on, let me try to do that. Hold on, keep talking. Right. I'm sorry.
So we are looking at things that the district has put out, and I'm gonna just tell you from my personal experience. The district is saying that they had 99% attendance. That was what was posted. That was what was stated for the news. All right, it was like 99% either compliance or attendance. That's the numbers that they had brought in. Now, I don't know where to get these numbers from, but I know for a fact. I saw that April, you said it took you like 4 or 5 days to get in touch with all of your kids. For me, it took 2 weeks. So I understand, because there's people that will not call back. That's first of all, the kids, most of the kids who will want to do the work, they want to be involved. Their parents like, they can get on this computer, I don't care what, midnight, whatever. Okay, that's good. But then there's others you have to hunt down. So I'm not sure where they're getting, what school they pulled or whatever this was. That where do you get now 99%? There's kids that 7 teachers have told me they have not spoken to in 2 weeks. So where is this 99, this almost perfect magical number coming from?
I don't know. Dr. Edwards kind of gave some insight and clarity on how the calculation of that data may have been collaboratively collected at each school site. Mm-hmm. And if you touch them in some form or fashion, whether it be they checked in the SB at some point within the period, if you call and spoke to a parent, if the child did an assignment, the child showed up to Zoom, if the child took a quiz on ESB, any of, any of those many different facets that they could have connected back to education or your class, that's how they came up with it. So it don't mean consecutively days, mean like Monday through Friday or two. They just mean they touched them at some point.
At some point in time.
Some kids I did not speak to. I just spoke to their parents.
Right.
They didn't turn in any assignments, but I did speak to their parents that shared, whatever it is that was going on for them, for their family, for this past week. But that didn't mean that they connected as it relates to doing any academic work. It just means that we talk to them. So I think that's a way to justify, teachers still receiving their checks for, most parents think we just doing nothing. Many of them think they're doing our job. We didn't set I almost acted up just think. We didn't set it up. I don't know what else y'all want me to do.
Right. And I think that that lets me know that in terms of fidelity with academic work, you can't say for a fact that that's going to be what's happening. If all your goal, to me, the district goal should be, let's just make sure these kids are checking in. If that's what the goal is, well then, yeah, okay, you can say 99%. I don't truly feel like all my kids are getting what I'm putting out there in terms of the work. No. And then out of all the kids I taught, only one of them submitted one of the e-learning sheets. You go to the e-learning thing on Common or no, we call on Clever. But only one. Okay, so all right, I can't. Yeah. So anyway, I hear what they're saying. I understand what they're trying to do, but like I said, the two grade levels that it really applies to the most, I'm going to assume would be what, third and the senior year, the 12th graders, because those are the ones, this is their movement year. You're either going to make it to fourth grade or you're going to graduate from high school. Those are the ones that really are stand up, the ones that matter the most. So,
and I know report cards came out for middle and high school, but the conversation still is kind of lingering out there. Like, when is elementary coming? And on the district website it says that they are delayed, but for my Blueprint for Girls, I have a couple of elementary girls that's in the program, and I said, well, did y'all hear from the school at some point? Because from what I was told by other elementary teachers is that they had to, come together to do their report cards collectively. I don't know how their process works, but my parents had not heard from anyone yet from the school as it relates to reaching out to them. I don't know if parents are included in that conversation, but I'm like, I'd assume that I don't know. I just know that they haven't heard from anybody to say what is going on as it relates to their report cards. Outside of that, the district listed on the page are going to be delayed.
And this leaves us with this level of uncertainty. I'm not sure, like, they're going into what like I tell you, I'm addicted to CNN, but going in and you listening to the different doctors that are speaking, I think in terms of with the economy. So basically the fight is between the economy and
who knows the most?
Just give me a second. And what's again?
And who knows the most?
And right. So it's like, all right, it's like this. We want to open up the economy, which is important. However, you have to look at people's health. And it's interesting how now you're looking at a situation where what is truly considered an essential worker nowadays? What's essential? All the things that people thought was really essential. The ones who are very important are the ones who work in grocery stores, the ones who are working in not retail specifically, but definitely the grocery stores. Anything that we need to survive, those are essential employees. So now and then you know why the billionaires want everybody to go back to work, right?
Yeah,
because they're not doing that job. They making millions of dollars off.
Their families are home safe.
Yes, they're making millions of dollars off of people who work for minimum wage. Of course, you want your minimum wage employees to go to work. You're not being affected by it. You sit in a $1 billion house.
And with the ability to pick up the phone and say, "I need a test."
Right.
And pay whatever money needed in order to get the test.
Correct. Because we see how is it that you see all these celebrities and all these people with money are able to, for example, the the British Prime Minister had coronavirus. They sat with him in his hospital room and monitored him for 48 hours. That he had personalized healthcare workers, and he actually, when he got on TV, I think it was a day or two ago, he recorded the message, and he actually called them all out by name and everything like that. But the difference is, you're the British Prime Minister, so of course they're going to they do everything they have to do to save your life. You poor. Here's a video I just saw too. A woman walked into the hospital and they didn't even bother testing. They just told her she had it. You're not even testing people. You just gonna tell them you got it. Just because you just don't, you need to hurry up and move her along quickly. Let's go. We have to be very, very careful in these times. We have to do things like stay inside. Let me tell you what's going on. I don't know about how quiet it is on your block, but let me tell you how my block is right now. You ready for this? On both sides, I got 2 full-blown parties going on right now. We having a birthday party on one side and an Easter egg hunt on the other side. I'm like, say what? I'm surprised you can't even hear it, because there was bass bumping a little while ago. I was like, you mean tell me that we in the middle of a pandemic and y'all also having a full-blown party? A full party.
There's a lot of misconceptions for the people that don't understand. If you think about it, the individuals that don't necessarily understand the importance of healthcare, they necessarily won't understand what all this means as it relates to them directly, because everybody is under the pretense that it can't happen to me, or it can't happen to my family, until it does happen to someone that directly you either know or yourself. And it seems that in some communities, that's just how it's viewed. I don't know why it's that way. I was on a conference call that BET hosted earlier this week, and P. Diddy and some other lady that was on there, and they was talking about the high number of African American people and Hispanic people that were contracting the virus, and they're not, sharing that data to the public, at a rate to where it would bring an alarm to them to say, hey, like, whoa, we have within our culture so many underlying health issues, to where it makes you more prone to, acquire this virus, and it could take you out. And I think that we just, once again, just fall behind in the thought process to think that it just can't happen to us. It can't happen to somebody we know, but it is definitely impacting the African American and Hispanic community greatly, very greatly.
It's when you look at in terms of what the fact that, yes, we already have poor health, but look at what's pushed and marketed through the communities anyway. All right,
even right now with the student lunches, think about it. They said they're gonna give them a pound. Go ahead, talk about it, Didi.
No, I'm just saying, no. I'm gonna have you coming out after that. I'm just saying this. Look, you can go to an affluent neighborhood. You're not gonna see a corner store that promotes cigarettes and beer. You're not going to see that. But in every Black community, you're going to find several corner stores. Like around here, if you run between 56 and go take it all the way down to 50 in Hillsborough, you must, behind every church is always a corner store. There's either a church and a corner store. And that's what they have. So, of course, our health is going to be poor. We don't have a lot of healthy food options either. So now all this, plus the constant cigarettes, the constant smoking, the constant drinking, all that brought the health factors down. So of course it's going to be harder to fight a disease like that, a virus like that, because you're already in poor health. So now going back to the school lunches, the same thing. Okay, well, here, y'all get some milk and some cheese. What's in the bag? What was in the bag? Because this week I think they were allowed to pick up, because there was no school on Friday, or they were allowed to pick up 2 days worth of food, right? But you have to look at the quality of the food. And why is it that nobody's saying that the kids deserve better than this? I don't understand that.
It's just quick food. We're not thinking about it. And remember, quick food is going to be your most processed food. So we get it. They need to eat. But again, it's just something to think about. And even with parents, You got to integrate those vegetables and those fruits inside
Yeah.
of what they're giving you in order to make the foods that they're providing to you that more digestible. Just something to think about. Just something to
Right.
think about. Because we
And
get it.
also,
They need
yeah,
the
we
food.
do.
We get it. But
Because we older too, so we see the effects of eating poorly. But also too, parents, you know what the parents are really realizing too? That's such a powerful statement you made. What you feed those kids, you home with them kids now. So now you feeling all the sugar, all the salt, the Takis, the soda. It's like, okay, you want to know why they so hyped and out of control and you mad all the time? Look at what they eat. So now that you talk about, this is a time for us to be inside for weeks with our kids. This is a time that the kids need to be drinking a lot more water. The kids need to be eating a lot better food. They need to be eating a lot more fruits and vegetables. Anything that you can find that they give you that's healthy food, give it to them. Because now you're realizing, hey, listen, this is what we deal with. They're gonna drink a soda and come to fourth period. That class also changed. Like I can always tell the difference. You can always see the difference between the classes that's before lunch and the classes that's after lunch. You know exactly how they act. After lunch, they have milk.
They're coming through. They're coming through.
They coming through cookies, salt, and then of course they brought whatever they brought from home, which would be Takis, Arizona sweet tea.
But they bring that from home. That was the cornerstone stop.
Well, that's true. That's a stop before. No, riding the bus, probably had got that from home. You know what I'm saying? So here it is now. You're seeing the effects of that in the home. And let me tell you something. What is it? Every week, I got to give these parents some shout outs to it. Every week, some of these videos that they posted are the most hilarious.
They tired of it.
You see the one with the man in the car? The one with the man in the car where he said he got to call the police from the car because he need them to come get him. He said he want to put a warrant on himself before he kill his kid.
Right.
It's not funny, but at the same time, listen, this what we go through. I mean, and right, like I say, it take a special person to do this job. And you know what? I heard one of the parents say, we teach it. That what y'all doing is not exactly teaching.
It's not teaching.
You're facilitating whatever it is that we're giving you. Because if you truly want to teach a subject, it don't look nothing like what y'all doing right now. What you're doing right now is what we call it.
Hope that and that's something to say. I hope that that the parents don't think this is what we do in the classroom. No. And remember, there's more than one of John and Boquisha.
Right.
There's 25 plus that's saying the same thing as like, I don't get it. After we have taught, meaning lectured, meaning identify any misconceptions that they may have had. There's a lot more into it than what you all are doing. And we're not discrediting or discounting what you all are doing. No. But no, it's way more to it. Way more.
So that's really understandable. I need parents to understand. I appreciate everything that you all are doing, but you truly do understand also. But what this also helps me, or what let me tell you, I think it's a good thing that parents are spending so much time with the kids, because when I want you to see how they write. Like I asked a parent today, not today, it was this week. The child sent me a message at Edsby. The message was so convoluted, like they didn't even, like, you know how you just start typing, but you ain't thinking what you're writing about. I looked at the message and I said, what I want you to do is I want you to read this out loud to yourself. Because I don't even know how to respond to this message because of how bad it's written. So I even called a parent. I said, I want you to read this message your child wrote today. And she was like, this what you wrote? I don't even know what it means. I said, no, I want you to understand. I said, I really want you to understand.
It's not funny, but I got a lot of those this week. I had to say, and I'm sitting there going,
this is how your child writes.
I was like, wait a minute, let me look at it again. Because if they wrote it on the paper, I can kind of figure it out. But when they typed it, it was like, you missing too many letters and too many words.
Right. And I said, do you realize this is how this child do all the time? There's no punctuation. There's no capitalization. I don't know if this is a question or a statement. I said, so do you understand that this is the quality of work that your child submits all the time? So when you get mad and say, why he got a D, right there is an F work. Actually, D is my grace and mercy that I gave that child, because really that's an L. Okay. So, but to me, it's like now it's a wake-up call for parents to realize when I tell you how important it is this child has to read these 30 minutes, 40 minutes every single day, now you see it for yourself. There's not a question. It's not a, oh, the teacher making it up, or I don't know what's wrong with this woman. No, the fact that your child has called me 4 or 5 times in under an hour because they didn't understand the instructions, that let me know your child should not be playing that much video games.
So Dr. Elwood said that we come through with the mom shirts. I didn't even realize that our shirts were similar in color. It wasn't planned. Yeah. We just jump up out the bed.
Yeah, turn my swag on. Well, I'm a little older now, so my feet hurt in the morning, so I have to ease up out the bed, slide my slippers on.
We got people: Regina, Harriet, Michelle, Tamika, Marlene. Good evening, Marlene. Kamika says, my kids are eating much better. I'm cooking 3 times a day. Those snacks don't last. Those snacks actually make them hungrier, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Because they're full of sugar and salt.
I know the sodium. Diana Williamson says, my kid said that the school juice is from China. I don't want it. She was like, the ingredients were imported from China and Argentina. These kids paying attention to what's going on right now. Very much so.
That's interesting.
Dr. Edwards says, kids don't understand the difference between social media writing and formal writing. Yes. And then I start screaming and yelling, what y'all doing in language arts?
Right.
What you doing? They let you just spell words like four and four.
But the issue is the fact that, at least with my kids, when you've been from 6th grade, you had like 6 different language arts teachers. By the time you slide in my class, it's like I got to work 20 times as hard because I know you had 6 different language arts teachers in 6th grade. It's abuse. And now the parents are actually understanding where I'm coming from. I said, do you realize that the instructions, if they just read the instructions, they wouldn't come back and ask me what I need to do. What else? Who's commenting?
That's it for me on my side.
Okay. I think that's the thing. Could be Bianca say facts. No, I think it's the same thing. Yeah, I think it's the same.
Right.
But YouTube DIY, so commission. That's I'm learning to do stuff around the house. I am. I literally am.
Stop it.
By the time I finish, I'm gonna come with a man. Wait, just wait. I'm gonna build me a bird house in the back and everything. I saw a guy had a squirrel cage thing he built for squirrels. But I know for a fact I got to do some self-care because I touched my hair this morning. I think I heard a crunch. I was like, nah, I think it's time for a deep condition.
Look, mine's so great. Like I woke up this morning and I don't know where all this gray hair came from.
Yeah, I need a colorist.
The color roll is gray, and it's even right here is all. You see the big gray piece? I'm like, wait a minute. Look at all this.
No, we age. Listen, but you know what? That's what Walmart reported this week. The fact that, and let me tell you, this is hilarious. The fact that hair products are going off the shelf now because people are not, and especially hair dye. People are now they moved on from toilet paper. Now we're moving into the hair products. Tell me, everybody gonna come out of here a hot mess. I want to give a big shout out to all the low maintenance chicks right now because, like I said, hey, listen, I truly doubled down and become true low maintenance. My hair was already relatively low maintenance, but I took off the nails. I'm down to the fact that listen, right now,
nail color. Look,
I see it's cute. It's real cute too. I see that.
I have one for you.
But you can do it yourself. You can do it yourself. That's different.
No, I have one of these for you.
Look here. This my color. I picked. That's what I picked this week.
It's not that kind of polish.
It's gel. What is it? Powder?
I have one for you. So just wait.
Yay!
Well, so yeah, go get that up. The Auntie Didi. Go get them
because right now between the home manicure and the eyelash and trying to thread my own eyebrows, say it like this. I'm gonna be the best low maintenance chick in a while. I'm gonna be a prize catch by the time I come part of this.
Bring it.
What is that? Let me see. What's that?
That's for you.
Ooh. Those are my colors too.
I know.
Those are my colors.
Those were her fingers.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll be so cute again.
That's mine. Oh, that's her.
I'll be cute again. Thank God. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, thank you for helping me, because Lord knows I
Look, and when you put them on, they already dry. Just boom. You gotta wait.
That's my friend right there. I just want to let y'all know that. Okay. Anyway, listen, let's go on. My new favorite doctor is Dr. Fauci, because he got sense.
Yeah.
He talks.
Listen, hold on, back up. What is Governor DeSantis talking about? Did that man say no children are dying?
He literally said that it don't affect young people. That's what happens when you don't go to school. Listen.
Did you see the phone fly off the shelf? Legs.
Put the legs up. Legs.
I cannot. And then he gonna come back and try to do damage control. This is my thing. From what I gathered, you just had a new baby. So if your child was eligible, age appropriate to go to school, would you want to roll them up in this right now?
Right.
No.
Right. Right. Sometimes some people talk and they don't even, it's like, do you even hear the words coming out your mouth?
I was laying in the bed. I said, wait, did he say that?
Yes, he did. Because his depth of thought is not so. I was like, do you realize? So you telling me, basically what you're saying to me is you can control every single human being in the state of Florida. You know exactly where they are, what they're doing. And so that when they come back to school, you're well aware of the fact that they didn't go hang around nobody, spend time around nobody, everything. There is a full party going on next door. Full. So you want them kids to come back in the schoolhouse, talk about, oh yeah, we fine. We stayed inside.
Let's scale it back. Let's pull it back. Because the schools will have to be clean in depth, sanitized every day. Where's the manpower to do that every day when I was round up playing janitor every day? My life is so bad since I've been off. It's awful.
Sweeping.
Sweeping. Clorox and desk.
I showed you the 2 weeks before we closed down. I showed you a Clorox wipe that I just wiped across it. It had my whole handprint on the Clorox wipe.
That's every day. That's every day.
And you telling me, and kids cough and spit
and
all this in the classroom.
They
and you
project
drool all over the desks. Slop on stuff.
Help us. Help us.
Get mad when I hand them a Clorox wipe at the beginning of class. Walk over there and wipe off the keyboards before you start touching anything. Miss, why are you so mean? I'm not mean. I'm clean. That's what I am. I need to be clean around here. Okay? So, yeah. So, that's your governor. And he's saying all this. I'm like, are you using conversation? You know what I got to give? What's the name? What was the one governor we had? Was it Chris? What was his name? Charlie Crist, right? When Chris said, let's dial it back after Bill Gates Foundation had the he was like, look, he was working with us. But you see, he had somebody who was a teacher that talked to him. So the thing about it is, when you don't talk to no teachers, when you don't talk to teachers, it's like, let's
go back. We were on a conference call from the Department of Education, and they identified a whole school of teachers that were, when I tell you, if I was from the outside looking in, I would think that all schools are functioning at this level with Title I status, performing at 100%. They said they had reached every child except for one. And the teacher, I was like, oh my, like,
really?
Does that make me less than? Because I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
But you can manipulate data.
You just cannot fathom the facts that you can try to find with a microscope, because realistically, we know some of them phone numbers was bad that you called. We know they're not always checking emails because
correct.
Some.
And we know that
be honest, so the people can know how to best meet the needs of all children. When things are such that seem so fabricated, not saying that they are, but being that, it don't sound right.
No, because this is my tablet. There's kids that will go on a tablet or their phone and get on SB. But SB will show that they didn't log in ever. So you're having some difficulties, just tech issue, a simple tech issue like that. That how are where are you getting your data from? How are you gathering all that data up? That's first. And second, how is it that whoever they spoke to, that's great for them. But I know that's not the case everywhere. And look, I had one kid I called 7 numbers. 7. 2 of them told me these are numbers from another state. One of them said, I just got this phone. Now, whether or not all of it is correct or not, I can't guarantee, but I called 7 numbers. And finally, one person said, call this number. That's the Guardian. Okay. Y'all saying for real that you get 99% is perfect? I spent 30 minutes calling 7 numbers.
It's a challenge. Like, maybe they have some magic, what you call it, pixie dust that we're not privy to.
Well, they might know Tinkerbell because she sprinkled all that fairy dust on people and they be flying and stuff.
You know, I just know that it's a challenge. It is a challenge, and it cannot be.
So I want to know how everybody doing, because I've had some parents that told me that, especially after that one report came out, Dr. Fauci said, look, it's going to be a detriment if you try to open up schools early, because we don't know what stage we're at. And then when you look at other countries, now they try to make all these comparisons, but when you look at countries, especially like Taiwan, England, things like that, they're literally isolated. It's a country, but it's an island. It's all by itself. So of course it's going to be controlled better. Just like in the Caribbean, where my parents are at, it's controlled very well, because when you have the power to say, kick all these people out, and we're not going to have any more people come in, and we're going to take care of everybody that's in here. We're not going to send our supplies out. We're not going to waste our resources. We're going to deal with it in-house. They brought their case numbers down significantly. So, but here we have so much freedom of movement. We don't listen. This was around, and nobody went into the contingency plan. We got this joker up here telling everybody it's gonna be fine. You got some people passing laws talking about you can't gather in groups, but then the one church in Kentucky, did you see them, how they having whole entire services? You haven't helped people with house parties, because strippers need to make money too.
Jenna, who attends Bloomingdale High School, says SB tends to crash a lot. Her advice to Hillsborough County students is to avoid getting on the website during their busy hours from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. Well, that's when the teachers hosting the Zooms and the parties and the yeah. Okay. And then it says, she says to adjust your schedule so you can have easy access. Great. But that would mean that the teachers would need to adjust their hours in order to meet the needs of the children. So I get it. I agree with you, Jenna. Holistic, because we thought when we were initially talking about this, when we were trying to get onto Zoom and SB and all these other platforms, we said that it should have been broken up based upon the different areas. When we talked about area 4, area 5, area 6, and then based on that, then it's broken down even further to say elementary, y'all work from this time to that time, middle school from this time to that time, high school from this time to that time. But again, that would take true communication coming from the top.
Right.
Not the people that actually are using the platform with, and kids experience so many challenges. So we'll see how it works. I will say that this week was smoother. It was smoother, but I was very intentional about saying what I was going to put my focus on, and anything that was outside of the focus of the kids or something that the kids needs, I just didn't do it. Like any additional Zoom meetings, I didn't do them. Sergio, turn that down. Any additional Zoom meetings, I didn't do them. Any additional submission of something that did not directly impact my students, I didn't do it, because I have to keep my energy and focus on the kids, because if not, I will get mentally drained. Because keep in mind, I'm dealing with all of this psychologically as well, and I think we keep forgetting that the information that we hear on the other side of that phone, we take a piece of that with us.
Yes,
we process it. It's either yes, it was a good call, I don't need to do anything, or no, it wasn't a good call, how do I further assist that child? No, it wasn't a good call. Do I even have the resources to extend to help that family? So there's more to it than just releasing the phone call. So I even set up the schedule for me that Monday and Wednesday was my calling days, because after I got off the 3 classes worth on Monday, I was mentally drained.
Yes.
Because I felt hopeless in some situations, hearing what parents was sharing as it relates to their home life and their job life. I could not help them. I had nothing to offer them, because what the government is extending is all that there is at this time. So yeah, it's something to think about. It takes a lot more than just picking up the phone, calling, "Hey, Susie Q, I'm calling to check on your child." Blah blah blah, yada yada yada. There is a response to the teacher on the other end of that phone, and it's either something that, yes, we're doing fine, move on. No, we are not. The people in the house are sick. I've lost my job. We don't have food. Like, there's a lot of things that are discussed in those phone calls that, you could feel, a teacher could walk away feeling helpless or hopeless, because we're limited on how much we can do. And false promises, I will not be a part of that plan. If I know they weren't able to do it before I left the school site, I'm not going to false promise parents and guardians. No, I'm not doing it.
Correct. And I like that whole concept you have where you said you're gonna pick specific days, so that you can so that, hold on one second.
Our goal is
to do it, because I'm trying to get in touch with one person. There's Deborah is here, but she wants to get on. I gotta have Bianca send her the link.
She sent it to us already.
Oh, okay. Poke is doing it. Okay, there it is.
I'll send it.
Okay, Poke is doing. Yeah, Deborah Ciceri, right. Okay. Poke is doing each subject different days a week, and that's what I wanted her to talk about, how they were setting it up, how it is going over there on Polk County. We're gonna send you a link, Deborah, in just a second, so that you can come in and talk to us about what's going on in Polk County, okay? Yeah, but that's the thing, because different counties are handling it different ways, and that's really important that we need to do it just like that, okay? Okay, so you should be getting the link in just a second. All right, so and that's the thing. It's like it's hard. Like I saw a post from a parent that was like, "Look, we got a lot of different kids in the house, and you got one device. You're trying to take 6 subjects, and that's what I said. Parents need to. I mean, the teachers gotta bring it down a little bit. Like my thing is, you getting 1 assignment per week. Why? Because I already know your math teacher sent you 20 things today. Your civics teacher sent you 5 pieces of stuff. Your language art teacher they're expecting you to do a project. I mean, come on. No. If you truly say it's about developing skills or building on skills that we had, since we're not teaching to an exam, we're not teaching to a test. There's no state exam, there's no EOCs, nothing like that. If we doing all that, then we need to make sure we're aware of everything else that's going on. Hey, Deborah, how you doing? Hey. How you doing? Talk to me. What's going on in Polk County? How y'all handling this coronavirus thing?
So I feel like our county's been doing really good. We got kind of Wednesday lucky, but so the week you guys had spring break, we technically were still supposed to have school. So we didn't do anything that week. Then we had our spring break. So our district had 2 weeks to prepare. So I'm pretty sure the week where we were out, not like we were supposed to have school, but didn't, they started taking that week, and our district people were looking. So then when Hillsborough went back that week, we were on spring break. I will tell you, our district must have been looking, because they were like, "Oh crap," and they were seeing, all the posts about SB going down. They were seeing all the posts about this. They were seeing all the posts about that. Because it was saying one of the first things my principal said was, "You guys cannot go live the same day. We've seen what's going on in Polk. Our district actually is banning Zoom. We're not allowed to use Zoom at all." And
wow. Say that again for the people in the back. You know what?
Yeah, we're not allowed to use Zoom. It is not approved by our district as a way to communicate with our students. So I know some of the frustrating things that for parents have been is that the teachers have gotten to choose the platform. And I know this is frustrating because I teach middle school. So I have 151 kids and they have 7 different teachers. Well, those 7 different teachers could have picked 7 different platforms.
Right.
So, which I know is so stressful for the kids. Our district, our school did pretty good. They chose like 2. So we're doing Microsoft Teams or Google Classroom. So we sticked with 2 main ones.
Wow.
And in that, I feel like, yeah, 2. Now, some branched off, but like the main platform where all the information is just these 2, you know?
Yeah. Right.
I was very fortunate that in my classroom, I already used Google Classroom. I set that up day 1. So August, something or another, I said, here we go. We're going to set up our Google Classroom. Great. Here's how you log in. We're also going to do Khan Academy. That's the homework from now on. This is from August, blah, 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 to now. So my students, I was like, we're not changing anything. We're going to keep the same thing you've been doing in class. And they can get an iPad, log on, take a notebook quiz. I mean, it's 5 questions. And even start homework in a 25-minute period. Because our early releases, we get out 2.5 hours early. So for planning, which I love, versus the 1 hour every Monday. We get once a month. We get out. It's 2.5 hours with no kids. It's like a block. I love the block. Like, I feel like there's more I can focus on and get done.
Right.
They're like broken up because, early release, we still have kids in our room. It's not really an hour. It's like whatever. So the district has broken it up. If we are going to do any like live planning, like live videos with the students, math is only Tuesday. That's it. And we're not allowed to go and do any live like sessions with the students any other day but Tuesday. Actually got an email from one of my assistant principals, like, someone went live on a different day that wasn't Tuesday. Don't do it. Like, they're focused on this. And it's to not have the overbearing. And I haven't had any students that haven't been able to log on because they're being kicked out or everything else. So it's been really great because I feel like the streamline's been pretty good.
How is could you say that most of your students are able to do online work?
I would say we've gotten pretty good because our school has a lot of electronics. Like when I went there, I was very blessed to find out we have 5 iPad carts that had 26 iPads. So each department had its own iPad cart. They distributed every single one of those. That's 170. And then we had laptop carts. We probably have 10 laptop carts, again, with the 26. We ended up distributing about, I want to say 400 to 500 pieces of technology in about a 2-week period. Now, I live in Polk County. There are some parts of Polk County that do not have any internet, or they don't have low-cost internet. Spectrum doesn't service because it's too far out. If they're on this side of the line, they get Spectrum. But if they're on this side of the line, like looking at the house across the street, they don't get Spectrum because don't service there. So I have students that I had one mom that was like, I can't do anything. The phone service sucks because they're too far out. And they don't have the internet. I have kids that have satellite. I had one kid I was talking to, couldn't get on because the satellite blocked something, and it was like just all kinds of craziness. And I was like, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what to do at this point, but to call your provider. But this is now putting on another strain for them because now they got to sit on the phone with the provider, and who knows how many people are calling them because all of the kids in that area, maybe, Correct.
So I mean, what kind of backup plan does for your department do they have?
So our department, we decided to make packets, 1 packet per grade level. Every teacher, we have 13 math teachers at our school. We have 1,300 students. So we decided as a department, all of 7th grade was getting the same packet. All of 8th grade is getting the same packet. All of 6th grade is getting the same packet. So if they didn't have any way to access internet or the one device, I have one student, mom was, I called her, she's a single mom, 4 boys. Her one son goes to one school. Her 2 sons go to our school, and she has another student going to another school. Well, because the one son got a device from his school, he couldn't get the other son, who's my student, could not get a device from our school because he's got the one device there. But there are 4 kids sharing one laptop. I was a little frustrated. It's because the admin emailed. She sent the email to his teachers. It's like we can't give out another device. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. There's 4 kids. use one device. So they were like, we'll send paper packets. So at least they're like, look, that's fine. We're just going to send the paper.
But my question for that, and I was thinking about this when I was talking to another educator, in the event, if we think about equitable, if the devices are there and are available, and parents pay taxes, shouldn't our tax dollars afford them, every child, to get what's due for them to use? Because in the end, isn't that what it's about?
Look, my heart is hurting that he could not get a device. And like, I even told the mom, I was like, just call up there. Don't say you have another device. You have no devices. Like,
Right.
I feel
It's like with the school lunches.
At the same time, I'm like, I understand her frustration. Like, I'm on the phone talking to her, and she's like, I think I'm going to have to go out and buy a computer. Like, I'm like, no, like, I feel, and I know yes. And so, like, my heart is hurting for her because I understand her frustration. She wants her kids to do well.
And seeing that bothers me, that parents are having to make the decision between, do I order a laptop or do I save this money, unknowing of how we're going to have to move forward in this situation. Because it's putting some parents truly in a pickle, initially with all of this. Yeah. But yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
I told her, I was like, don't buy the laptop, babe. We'll give you the paper packets. We'll work out, and I'm not stressing it. Like, we're gonna make it work, and whatever we can do, we can do. I do think it's helpful that like all of 8th grade, so no matter who comes in, it's not like, well, I'm in so and so's class. I need this packet. I need this packet. I need.
And I like that. I like that.
We were like, the math department, we're like, no, look, 8th grade gets this packet, and that's it. We got one for the intensive class and one for the regular, but like, if you're in 6th grade, great. Here you go.
Right. And see, that's the challenge that's happening. That's the challenge that's happening at a lot of schools, because you got school sites where each teacher wants to pick what they want the child to be learning. I'm like, you can't do that. Like,
all the same standards.
It doesn't matter. Like, at this point, we are just trying to maintain learning, the learning mindset. That's it. Enrichment. There truly, no new content, in my opinion, should be being delivered if you are not a virtual teacher. If you are a Florida registered, however you want to put it, virtual teacher, you should not be introducing new content, because in my opinion, you are doing that child a disservice in the event you have not already been utilizing these various platforms before. Now, if you were already a backwards design teacher, where the videos were put forth out there before you actually taught the content, the student into the classroom and scaffold for this, that's fine. You got this, you master this. That means you're considered proficient. But for all us novice, nah, go take a seat. I'm a novice. I wasn't doing that.
It's a huge taking on. Now, I got very fortunate when I went to my new school in Polk County. They saw that I love technology. It was something I always wanted to integrate in my classroom, but at Young, we didn't have that much technology to do all of the stuff that I would love to have done in my classroom. I was my first year teaching. I was at a 1-to-1 school in Hillsborough County. So at that school, each student had a laptop. I was Microsoft trained. I took a 2-day training that I was very fortunate that the school paid for. So when I got to Polk, my school district was like, you love technology? They sent me to a 2-day conference that they paid for me to go. And I was the only educator from my school that went, which I was like, holy crap, like, this is amazing. I got to take that knowledge and I got to start trickling it down to my coworkers. And there are a lot of us that had picked up Google Classroom, and a couple of us did pick up Teams. Like, I had set up my math department to do Teams. So when we moved this transition to online, they were like, oh, we're just going to do the meetings in Teams. Great, here he is. So my department was like, oh, this is sweet. This is easy. We know exactly. We've been doing this all since last February.
Right.
Like, we were pushing for it. I still had some coworkers, though, that were very against it. They were like, I don't want to learn anything new. Like, I don't got the time, which I understand because it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. We don't have a lot of time, And now they're like, oh crap, now I need to learn it, and they're not there. Like, I can't be like, hey, here it is here, and we don't have that.
This is the learning curve that we're all going to go through into next year, because let's be real, I don't see us opening back up again this school year I can possibly see sometime in August, September, but that's if they after they hazmat these whole entire schools.
Yeah.
So that means we have to utilize this time now to learn the skills. Because if we're gonna end up being home with these kids, let me tell you something. Realistically, and this is what my brother was telling me as a scientist. He was like, listen, kids need to go back to school January 2021. And here's his logic. He said, because you need the virus to go through a cycle. Then it needs to hit the flu season again, which is back November, December, to see how bad it's going to hit. Then you sanitize all the schools and send them back in January. When January comes, you got to look and see how if the wave is that bad. But that's when you should. Because right now, people they're going to get it, they're going to relapse, and they're going to go back through it again. So it's like, look, why are you trying to rush? Because for example, like I was just saying earlier, these people next door playing. Bunch of kids. Yeah. Okay, so what's the guarantee that they ain't got it or they're going to catch it by this afternoon? By the time everybody finish eating cake and candy and smearing stuff all over each other.
Yeah.
What's that guarantee?
And, I don't think, the other thing is like, my aunt is a bus driver for the district. She is 76 and
wow,
and lupus and has lupus, so she has an immune compromise.
Deficiency.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's like, well, if she goes back, well, really, she can't go back. They don't have enough bus drivers to get our kids in school on time. We don't have enough subs to cover the schools, so teachers are calling out because they have an immune problem or they're over age. What the heck are we doing with all these kids that come to school?
Right.
And
even when they're saying where the individuals that don't work in a classroom are making the suggestion that we're going to go back, even if it is for a week or two. Well, I'm here to say I won't return neither with my children.
No,
I will not return neither with my children. And really, if I could come up with a plan for these to be homeschooled till January, that's really what it would be.
Yeah.
And I might have mastered it by then because I have one that he picks up every bug. The child had pneumonia twice. Oh. And I'm telling you, it has to come from the unclean school. I'm almost positive. And the kids acting and coughing all over each other. And then what does he do? Bring it on in the house. Bring it on in here. And just make it a smorgasbord to share it with us.
Yeah, right. I've had like kids come to school full. One boy had a fever and he had the flu, and mom was like calling us. And I'm super blessed. We have an ESOL program. We have a like legit ESOL program. She hops into my room every single day to help with my math content and stuff, which is fantastic. She goes, Mom, he's not coming today because Mom said he was sick. He had a fever yesterday. Boy in class today. I was like, oh my God. Why are you here?
That same thing, and listen, I'm so glad you said that because a lot of people don't understand that happens to us all the time. I've looked at one child who was visibly sick. I said, go home. The very next morning she was in class. I'm like, snot running from your nose, your eyes are red. You are sick and coming.
We got to remember, parents, for those children, who are they going to stay home with?
I understand that. However, you need to stay in the nurse office. You don't need to be running around the whole school.
The nurse not going for that. No. The nurse has the cure of ice. Ice is the cure. If the ice don't cure, they can't stay there.
My nurse has been really fantastic. She's like, that does not get ice because it is 3 days old. So you better go back to class. And she won't even let ice into the classroom. They stay in the room. They stay in the nurse's office and ice it unless we like let her know. We're like, hey, you can send ice back because she knows the kids play with it. So they sit in there by themselves in the nurse's office, ice in whatever.
They doing the full wipe like this, the full wipe. I'm talking about, can I get a tissue, miss? Up, you done did all this. Can I get a tissue?
Hey,
no.
I will say I didn't run out of tissues this year. Our AVID teacher did a project for Black History Month. It was fantastic. She said, you got to buy a tissue box or like get one from a teacher. I gave one of my students a box. They decorated it with an HBCU. So they looked up all the information on that HBCU. Like I got so many, they were fabulous. So like, what's the grade point average? Where are they located? What's the majors there? All the information.
That's cool.
Then they took the boxes and gave them to teachers.
Oh, that's nice.
That was nice.
So I ended up with like 6 boxes of tissues. And it was great because you're showing off now in HBCU too, which I love. Like just having some diversity for them to see something other than like our major colleges that like sometimes like are not as like diverse as
Right.
HBCU, you know. And I was like, I love this. Like I love being for the kids. They're like, where's this at? I'm like, oh, look on the box. And they're reading the box.
That's a very, very good idea though, for real.
I like that.
We can
Definitely
do
for
door
avid
decoration
teachers,
and stuff like that.
definitely.
Yes,
Mhm.
some are avid teachers. My avid teacher did.
And that's a
I
good
was-
thing. Like instead of them walking around with them giant binders that they about to break their back in their book backpack.
Ours is not so bad. I feel like our avid program is like very true to course, and I don't know if that's part of it. I know that was a good thing when I got hired on. It was only the 2nd year they've had avid in Polk County. This is the 3rd right now. So it was very new to the district, and I was like, oh, I've been doing this for a little while because I was in Polk County. And they have the binders, but everything has to go in there. They can't have random stuff. So some people just rock around with the Trapper Keeper, and that's it.
Right,
So,
right.
very clean. So
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, but they are heavy though. I mean, I saw this one little 6th grade girl. Her binder was too big. I'm like, baby, what's all in here? She says, all my stuff. the book was bigger than her. She was so tiny. I was like,
some
oh
of the
my
6th
God.
graders, but some of them need it. I got one boy. He has his avid binder, and then he's just pulling out papers outside. I'm like, everything should be in the binder. Like
Right.
We're pulling out
That age group. Right, that age group has an issue with organization. They really don't know how to organize themselves well, and so I have some kids. Like I actually have a time in class where I'm saying, you know what, it's Friday. This is our book bag cleaning day. I said because I know for a fact when y'all walked in here, I smell the smell, which means there's some gym shorts in here that have been in here for at least 3 weeks. We're gonna clean all this out, and we're gonna organize our bags.
My students get so upset with me when I do the random book bag checks, and they think it's random, but I have a cup and I act like I'm pulling out certain names, but what they fail to realize is only certain names
In the cup.
And look, I drop a whole bunch of stuff in there. I walk over to my desk, switch the cup, and then I can use the same cup, and I already have the names I want to pull. Because you don't want the kids to feel as though they being, but it's certain ones I'll be like, I'm so sick of this book bag. So let me come on over to my desk, the back counter area, and pull it all out. They be so mad with me, they don't know what to do. And I be mad too, throwing stuff away.
Yes, I do interactive notebook in my class. So when they got paid, I'm like, y'all notebooks are driving me crazy. If I can't walk over and shake it, we've got issues. And I'll start coming over and shaking notebooks. They're like, no, don't shake my notebook. Don't shake it. And they got their hands on it and everything else. They're like, Miss Siri, I promise I'll get to it. Hold on.
Right. Then there's always because see these are kids, even though they work your nerve, these are the ones that you always will remember. Like I have one who loves highlighters. I mean, I don't care what it is, I must write in this highlighter. I need this highlighter in my life. I'm gonna write it. It's gonna be pink. Every paper I turn into you is gonna have pink, green, blue, yellow, purple. Whatever color of highlighter, you're gonna get it. I know that, and then we'll apologize ahead of time. I know you don't want this highlighter, but you need to understand this highlighter is my life, and I'm gonna have to write my whole name across the paper in the background in pink and green. And I'm just like, look. And I had to call that one kid this week too. I said, "How you doing? I know you can't highlight nothing in SB, so it's killing you right now, ain't it?"
Gretchen says, "Book bags, yes, needs to be cleaned out. Period. Yes, they do.
Period.
If you ain't seen that book bag, right now we know something is growing out of it. Go check the bag. There is something growing out of that bag.
There's some fungus among us. There is some fungus among us.
I have kids walk in. I'm like, "What is in your book?" They're like, "I have my notebook today." I'm like, "What is in your book bag then?" My shoes.
Oh,
I had a child that dropped the spilled milk in his gym shoe and left it inside the book bag for 3 days. Walked in the classroom. I said, "I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm getting my purse and I'm going home. One of y'all trying to kill me on purpose. I know this for a fact. You all trying to kill me on purpose. All of y'all." Miscellaneous, and they call it. I said, I don't care. I just know you and your bag need to go someplace, go to the bathroom and wash your whole bag. Go wash your whole bag. Clean it up.
And it's so crazy is that you can smell the bag when it walks through the door. You be like, dang, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh, but I will say one of the great features I have in my classroom, they have hooks. Like by my door, I have these book bag hooks for them to hang all their book bags up. I don't trip over book. Oh my God. I don't realize.
No, that's a good thing.
I was like, y'all don't put your book bags up, you're gonna kill me. So go ahead, you hang them all up. No, go ahead. I don't need to die today. Thank you.
I think up north, that's a norm for them to have an area for their book bags to be hung up because we need them for the rain. Hang them up. Because when the book bags get wet and then all of their notebooks get wet and then they want to hand me the molded paper that they turn it in.
Correct.
Dude, I don't want that.
What's scarier is when they hand you a wet piece of paper, but it's not raining outside. I'm like, boo, why this wet? Why, boo? I don't
Look,
need to know.
My students know that when they hand me something and I say, if it's not white, and if it's not white, I don't want it because I don't know what that color is, what it could have been. And they be like, look, the paper's done. I'm gonna say forward. And the other kids said, "Me like, now you know she's not gonna take this. She's not taking this." And they just start throwing it back. And the kids that turned into a full argument. Wow, something. This paper got crud on it. You know she don't do crud.
Yes.
I got one girl. No matter how many days it is that I hand her this paper, it could be one day, it could be a week. It always looks like it's half chewed up when it gets back to me. I don't understand what she does with these. Girl, what did you do?
I can't take them. I don't accept them. I am so squeamish. I will have a new packet available for you to do one or two things. Let's take a picture of upper parts of the assignments you've already done. I will go quickly put those grades in today. So here's your new packet. I can't do it. I can't. If it look wet, because I know what these 2-pack over here be doing. No, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it.
So I think the best part so far has been, so I've been using Google Classroom, and then my kids also have Teams because some of the teachers are using Teams. So they've been switching platforms. I'm like, that's fine because I'm at both. So I'm like, okay. One of my kids wrote, "I'm so sorry to how mean I was to my teachers."
You know what? You can hear it in their voices.
Yes.
Like this one young man that lived over there, not too far from you, Denise. He lives in Silver Oaks. And I had called his mom. Mom was in the hospital. Like it's the stuff that you can share. Mom's in the hospital. So mom said, "Do you mind calling him?" Absolutely, I'll call. But I always make sure I get permission before I call a child's phone. I don't like this. That's really freaking me out, calling a child's phone.
Yeah.
Even if it's from Google. Even if it's Google Voice, it freaks me out. So I call, and when I tell you, I said, "Hello, so and so, it's Miss Cobb." The phone drops. He's screaming, "It's Miss Cobb!" So he goes out on the porch, and all the kids that's in the class, you can hear them saying, "Hey, Miss Cobb, hey, Miss Cobb." So then he goes, "Miss Cobb, I can do video." I'm like, "There's no video on Google Voice, but So he started telling me, such. I'm like, "Go tell all the ladies better go log on that doggone vocabulary and set up them account."
Right.
I mind you that they did it. And I was like, this is crazy. But he was able to deliver the message. So I'm going to send him, and he doesn't know I'm going to mail him a $5 McDonald's gift card for whenever he gets free from this Rona. Rona got
that's so good. Because like I absolutely understand it, because let me tell you, the kids, remember we deal with a lot of kids that live in the same communities, and with them it's really interesting. Like with my girls group too, I call all the parents, and they were like, "Yo, okay, let's talk," send messages out. But in telling you, if you get in touch with just the right kid, that right kid will kick and go and tell everybody, "Oh, they talking," and they'll send you messages back and forth, and they're like, "Oh, okay." So it's good because at least they staying in touch with each other too. So they're like, "Okay, man, I'm so happy to have the teacher." But you get that humbleness though too. I mean, I have one that was back and forth with my WW. What is it? That was the welterweight. That was going head to head with me every single day. That was the humblest child. When I spoke to that child last week, that child was, "Can you please tell me what I need to do? Okay, do I have to listen?" And I wasn't even mad know it's tough. It's tough right now. It's tough, and I feel for all of you. I feel for you. But
And they're afraid. The kids are afraid because they don't
they are.
understand it. And a lot of parents,
Yes.
I don't think that they don't not know how to explain it. They just don't know how. They want to avoid the conversation because they don't understand it themselves. Like I understand it to a certain degree. And when they start asking me questions, we did collages. The question was, where did it come from? Who discovered it? Who does it harm? They got like my walls. I have to show you. My walls is turned into a doggone crazy.
Oh, she disconnected herself. That's okay. You still on there? She'll come back on. But no, but that's I get that. I get the whole concept of them being so like they don't know how to express themselves or what's going on. Yeah. And then what really bothers me or what stood out the most is when they talk about, well, what if people are going to die that they know? And I said, because they're seeing the numbers. They see if whether they're watching the news or not, they are seeing the numbers. And then they also see truly the disproportionate numbers of who it's affecting and things like that. So for them, it's like it's such I wouldn't say a super stressful time. I just know that they're at a point in their mind where I just don't understand what's going on in the world right now. Why are we home? I'm supposed to be in school. I'm supposed to be, hanging out with my friends. I'm supposed to be, doing the most right now, but they're not getting it.
Yes. And
they're not getting it.
I had a girl, she usually is one of my girls. She's crazy. I love her. She's like, I love this girl. She gets on my nerves sometimes because she's like just very loud sometimes, and she wants to be the center of attention. So I gotta calm her and like put her in I'm like, you are my leader, girl, but I need you to be positive. Like, and I talk to her like this all the time. She messaged me. She's like, hey, Mrs. Sarah. I'm like, hey, blah, blah, how are you doing? She's like, I miss school. Can we go back?
Right.
She's like, I'm going to call my grandmother and I'm going to have her pick me up. Girl, it's only second period.
Exactly. So you have those, and you know what I'm concerned about too? I always concerned about, you always have a small percentage of kids who just don't like to be. They wander the school. They're hallway, the hallway bandits, I call them. Well, what happens with those kids? Because already their whole thing was to be out of school anyway. Now what happens to them?
I will say, I'm a little surprised. I have a few kids that in class barely did any work. Like follow directions, couldn't focus. They have been at home, and I think with less distractions, and they have been doing so much better. I'm like, holy crap, this one has done what? Like all of the work, and I'm like, it is kind of amazing. And I hope we've kind of set it up where I've done a work at your pace. So I assigned them some videos and some lessons, like articles on Khan Academy, and then they have like a practice assignment that's 4 to 7 questions. That is it.
Right.
I've given them the week to do it, so that they could work it on their time. So like I know that one student at the high school about these prime times. My students can work on it at any time.
Correct.
In my first grade this week, because we only need 1 grade for the whole week, which I think is fantastic.
Right.
They're not requiring a lot from us or the kids, because we know that there's a lot going on. And I haven't even graded their assignment. I'll do it tomorrow when we're back in business. So they've had the assignment since April 2nd, and I'll grade it tomorrow. So they've had over 10 days. So
right.
They have all this time.
And that's the same thing I would do with my kids too, because I'm just like, I know you've got 7 teachers. You've got 7 teachers. So why am I giving you 7 days worth of work? I'm not doing that. I'm giving you 1 assignment, and you got till the end of the week to turn it in. And then if you can't get that assignment done, you have they actually put the e-learning icon in EDSB. I don't know if they did that in Polk County, but we actually have an icon for e-learning that's set up per grade level. That if they can't do the teacher's work for some reason, they can't find a way to get on whatever the teacher's assigning, they can go to that and still get credit. And so that's why I keep telling the kids, I said, even though you may not do well on the assignment, I'm going to go over it again this week. I'm going to put the answers up. Don't ever think that you're going to come out of here. As long as you participated, you're going to make it through. This is not a time to penalize anybody.
And that's the thing. I've given review. We're not allowed to teach new content. We were told not to
Right.
teach new content in Polk, which I think is another thing that's fantastic. So I gave them a content that we've been doing in class. We've been doing exponents. Like we did it before we left. And my kids are taking there's 2 ratings. They've been taking the quizzes on Khan Academy. Most of them are acing it. And if they're not, they're able to take it over again. And then I'll take the best score. So they can, it's kind of great because now for my kids that needed more practice, they can try again. But for my kids that go through it the first time and aced it, they're done.
Right.
So I love that. So, and they can work at their own pace. I know that they have 4 kids at home with 1 device, you know? So if you can do it right, that's cool. And then I honestly will probably go back. Let's say they don't do it this week, but they do it like next week. I'll go back and I'll change the grade, you know? Because at this point, it's just being flexible and they got it done.
That's good. So listen, so how many years have you been over there then?
This is my 2nd year. Yes.
Okay.
This will be the end of my 5th year teaching.
But but 2 years in Polk County.
So I did 2 years in Polk, 3 years in Hillsborough.
Okay, all right. I'm just excited because I feel like it's so much longer. I haven't seen you.
Yes, I know.
It's good though. So what's the so now here's the other question we didn't get to. I'm trying to get April to get back on, but I don't know what's going on. How are they doing their food distribution, or are they doing food distribution now?
We are, and we were doing every day, not every school. So I know my school is not doing food distribution. So it was certain schools, mostly the elementary schools, I think, because that's where the younger kids are and more visible. We were doing every day. I think we're going to 3 days a week. So I think we're going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday now for next week.
Are they allowed to come to school and get it or no?
Yes. They go over to the school. Some teachers are even volunteering to hand out food, because one of my friends is a teacher and I see her post it on Facebook. And so they have volunteers that hand out the food. And the last I heard, you had to bring kids, but I'm not sure that's still the same. I keep getting the calls. Which is kind of cool. Every time they have automated calls and emails that go out. So if they call you about something, they send an email too. So we'll get a call and an email. And they've been doing the food that way. Every time they change anything about the food or they're not going to serve because of like Good Friday, they send a call and an email.
Okay. And that's our concern too, because the same thing you said about the parents, because I know we've been having issues earlier on with the food distribution where a parent might come and bring a child, then they turn around and, should I bring my child? Or, well, you can't get this many lunches from the day before because you didn't bring the child. That's, it's all like that. April, I know you were talking about the picture. What did y'all do? I know you got disconnected real quick.
I'm not going to touch it because my Wi-Fi is botchy right now.
Oh,
so I better sit still.
But yeah, we're not going to be on there much longer. But so Deborah, just real quick, how's the baby? I know she a big girl now. She's not a little baby anymore. Yeah. Hey, precious. I remember when she was a baby.
Right?
She was an infant.
She'll be 4. Oh, she'll be 4 this year, and she will be doing VPK.
Wow. Okay. So like I said, so what's go ahead.
I'm sad because it's hard. We've been very blessed. She is in an in-home daycare right now. They have 6 kids. So we've actually been able to keep her going because the number of kids is very low and our VPK our in-home daycare is still open. And one of the kids is my actual lady's own kid.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of the kids are my cousins. So and one of the kids is staying home. So honestly, there's 5 kids. One's the actual VPK teacher's own son. 2 are my cousins. One's my daughter, and then one little boy. So it's
the family VPK.
Yes, you got it contained, so that's good. We have real concern about the babies now. Yeah.
Right. No, there's not a lot of kids going in and out. It's the same kids. She won't even let us come in anymore, actually. Like, we have to drop her off at the door, and only my daughter can walk in and walk out. So none of the parents can go in. But I'm like, okay, I understand. My daughter is pretty good. She runs in. She like runs like full force in there. I'm like,
right. And listen, that's a highly independent baby right there. That's good.
Yeah.
So April, do you have anything else? Because I know your Wi-Fi is not strong, so we're gonna wrap it up in just a second.
Yeah, because it's really botchy right now. I don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, Deborah, I want to thank you so much for coming in and telling us about what's going on in Polk County, because I noticed that they have some special ways that are a little bit, like they organize. But I do understand why, because y'all sit down and watch what happens in Hillsborough County and said that ain't gonna be for us. that's really what it is. So I want to thank you very much. Go ahead.
Yes. I was gonna say that was the big one. My principal even said, he's like, the Hillsborough has been having a hard time with we haven't been able to log in. And each grade level for elementary school, I forgot to say, like kindergarten and kindergarten and first grade is one day, second grade is another day, third grade, fourth grade. So every day is a grade level.
We were just saying that. Imagine that.
Subject every day, and high school's the same. So it's been fantastic because we have not had those issues. We're also kind of spread between two platforms, either Google Classroom or Microsoft. As a school district, the district has pretty much set in these, and our PEA, which is our union, and our tech team for our district have been pushing out material for just these two. So they've been doing webinars, they've been doing Zoom calls, they've been doing all kinds of stuff to push out this education for our teachers too, which has helped, I think, keep us into two platforms instead of like, I mean, there's so many, because I had one parent complain about two platforms. I was like, ma'am, I totally understand your frustration. There's about 100 different platforms out there that could have been chosen. We stuck with two. Like, I understand the teachers are learning it as you do. I said, we'll get through this. I promise. And I even sent one of my like remind messages to my students. It's like, chill, we'll get through this. Like, don't worry about it. And I got some thumbs ups and hearts, and the parents are stressed, and I understand that. I'm like, we'll get through this. So
it's all about reassuring the parents and reassuring the students, because this is a traumatic time in history for them, All right, ladies, we'll have a wonderful evening. I'm going to wrap it up this evening. Oh, did Deborah pop out too? All right. Thank you. We'd like to thank our wonderful, fantabulous host, Bianca Goolsby of Teaching for the Culture, who always, she gets thumbs ups all day long, because she always is just on team. And we see you, Bianca. So, April, I'm going to see the artworks shortly, and I will talk to you all later. It's the Diva D from Carved Out Divas. And
April Cobb from April's Beauty Bar.
Y'all have a wonderful evening, and we're gonna catch in with y'all sometime during this week, because ain't none of us going nowhere.
And be safe, guys. Stay in, keep your kids in, be safe. And remember, the food program distribution has changed this week. So on Wednesday, they're going to be distributing the food items for the week. Now, I'm uncertain if they're open tomorrow, so go to the district website for the update, because I got a little bit confused about that myself. They may have updated since I read it, but again, this week they're going to be doing the food distribution for the week. So make sure you go on, educate yourself, so that you remove the possibility of getting frustrated when you arrive on site.
Correct. Thank you.
That's all we got, guys. Bye.
See ya. Bye.